The naysayers tell us that BMW has lost its way as the ultimate driving machine, but can their new entry-level coupe help flip the script? Let's find out. Here with CarBuzz.com, and today we are reviewing the 2022 BMW 2 Series Coupe. This is the entry-level coupe in BMW's lineup, though we are driving the more powerful M240i version. BMW first introduced us to this concept back in 2008 with the 1 Series Coupe before changing it to the 2 Series in 2014. Now I should note that the 2 Series has since branched off. We now have another model called the 2 Series Grand Coupe that is a completely different model that we've also reviewed on our channel. That one is based on a front-wheel drive mini platform. This car is a dedicated rear-wheel drive BMW platform. So we're going to start off our drive by talking about the 2 different engines that are going to be offered on this new 2 Series. You can get the base 230i, which comes with a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine, very familiar BMW unit, producing 255 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. There's only one transmission option, an 8-speed automatic that sends power rearward to the rear wheels. If you want all-wheel drive, you're going to have to opt for the more powerful M240i, but even with rear-wheel drive only, the 230i is pretty quick at 5.5 seconds to 60 miles an hour. It's a neat little car with a near 50-50 weight distribution, so if you don't want anything that's overwhelming in terms of power, I think the 230i will be great for most buyers. But if you're an enthusiast, you're gonna wanna hop into the M240i, which is the one we're driving here. Much bigger engine, a 3-liter inline 6, produces much better numbers, 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. That's a 47 horsepower bump over the old car. This is the B58 engine. I love this engine. It's the same one you're gonna get in the Toyota Supra and the BMW Z4 sports car. Now this is gonna get to 60 in 4.1 seconds. It's extremely quick off of the line. How quick is 4.1 seconds? Well, this will actually match a rear-wheel drive M4 with a manual to 60 miles an hour. Now I know with all-wheel drive or with the automatic, the M4 will be quicker, but it is staggering to think that this little car can keep up with its big M brother just with the all-wheel drive grip and the automatic. So I know it's a bit sad that this doesn't offer a manual, but you're really going to enjoy that 4.1 second 0 to 60 time. Now, although this car is incredibly quick, it is not a fully fledged M car. We'll have to wait for the full M2 for that, but we do get a lot of sporty components here on the M240i. There's an M Sport differential that sends most of its power rearward, so although this car has xDrive all-wheel drive, it does send most of its biased power to the rear. And we also have M adaptive suspension standard on here. It's a little bit on the firm side, as the 2 Series has often been, but I don't think it's too bad to be super uncomfortable. And we do get M Sport brakes that work a little bit better than on the standard 230i. There's also variable steering that's pretty light. It gets a little bit heavier through the corners. It's definitely not the best BMW steering that I've had, but this car is so small and nimble that it's still extremely enjoyable to drive. Based on my brief time driving this M240i, I think that this is one of the best packages that you can get from BMW for an enthusiast that doesn't want to spend $100,000 on a super loaded M3 or M5. This is a nice contained package. It's really quick. It's really tunable. I think it has enough practicality. And honestly, I don't think that the interior is all that much worse than a normal 4 Series. So to show you that, I'm gonna pull over so that we can check out the new 2 Series' cabin. As we pull over from our drive, I want to take this opportunity to remind everybody to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to be alerted of our latest videos. If you want to learn more about the new BMW 2 Series, be sure to check out CarBuzz.com. Now, let's talk about the cabin. So the 2 Series leans towards the lower end of BMW's range, so don't expect the best cabin here. There's nothing radical here. This is very familiar BMW technology. It looks very similar to the existing 3 Series and 4 Series. I'd say that the cabin is maybe a little bit bland, especially here in this black color that we have here. You can get some more exciting colors like red though. They've added 1 or 2 unique materials to kind of make this be like the fun model in their lineup. We have this really interesting material here on the dash. I think it looks really cool, this trim. You can get some like wood and carbon fiber probably as well, but I think this looks really neat. The only other unique thing that I think they've done on the cabin is here on the doors. You get this kind of unique pattern here. It's kind of hard to see on the black interior, and we do have just a little bit of blue stitching here on the M240i model, but aside from that, this cabin really doesn't scream special to me. Now, the one thing I do like about the 2 Series compared to some other BMW models and some other sports cars is that you do get a semi-usable back seat. You can tilt the seat forward, and unlike the outgoing 2 Series where you had to hold the button to slide the seat forward, it will go up to its furthest position automatically. You then just tilt the seat back and it will automatically come back. That is really nice, and honestly, I gotta say, I'm only about 5'8", but I have a decent amount of room. My head is just touching the ceiling here. I have a decent amount of room that my legs don't feel absolutely squished, and I even have USB-C ports and my own climate controls back here, so I could theoretically ride in here for a decent amount of time. That's something that you couldn't say for other BMW models like the Z4 and the Toyota Supra, which also has the same engine as this car. And honestly, I think that the headroom is better in this than it is in the BMW 4 Series, which is the bigger and more expensive car. So now that we've checked out the interior and driven the new 2 Series, let's check out the exterior styling, because this might be a love it or hate it point for you, because I think the styling is, like a lot of other BMWs that have been introduced recently, a little bit controversial. Now, luckily, the 2 Series does not get the gigantic kidney grille snout that we see on the 4 Series. They've gone for a more horizontal design that I think is a little bit more tasteful. You can see here that the grills are closed off. They actually open up for cooling. It's kind of cool. They do some dynamic movement right here. You've got some odd trapezoidal components here on the headlights. You have these weird triangular elements down here. Not everybody is in love with how this 2 Series look, but I happen to like the overall shape. I love the upright, sort of taller look of the 2 Series compared to some of BMW's other coupes. And this model is lower, wider, and longer than the outgoing 2 Series. Now, I especially love how BMW decided to launch this car in this outrageous purple color called Thunder Night Metallic. I think it makes the car look really cool, especially in the M240i, guys. This is the color that I would be getting if I were ordering a new 2 Series. After talking about the back seats, I want to wrap up by speaking a little bit about the trunk space back here, because I think the 2 Series is a rather usable car. BMW says you get 10 cubic feet of space back here, which dimensionally doesn't sound that big. It's actually a tiny bit less than you're gonna get on the Z4 and the Toyota Supra. The Supra being a hatchback, which is quite practical as well, but I think this might actually be the most practical of those 3 cars, because we can fold down those seats. You can either fold down just the middle or the outside parts, and you can really get some large items back here. So I think as a family vehicle, because this has a back seat and because this has a pretty usable trunk, it is probably the best one of the 3 to drive every day. So that was the all-new BMW 2 Series. Here's how much you're gonna pay for one of these. It's about $36,000 if you want the base 230i. That's a whopping $13,000 less than the Z4 with the same engine, and about $7,000 less than the Toyota Supra with the 4-cylinder. Now, this M240i is significantly more expensive at about $48,000, but that's still $3,000 less than the 6-cylinder Supra and a whopping $15,000 less than the 6-cylinder powered Z4. So I kind of think that the 2 Series is a bit of a bargain. It also has a back seat, it also has a usable trunk, and I happen to like the very tall, upright look of the 2 Series compared to the Z4 and the Supra. It's not as aggressive as the Z4 or the Supra, but in terms of how it drives, it at least matches those cars based on my first impression, and with that amazing price tag, I think it's the one that I'd have out of the 3. I really hope you've enjoyed this review of the 2022 BMW 2 Series. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel to watch more of our videos, and hit the notification bell to be alerted of when all of those new videos go live. And if you want to read more about the new 2 Series or any new BMW at that, you can go ahead and check out CarBuzz.com. I'll see you next time.